Looks like fresh.
Oh,
Really? Well, I'm ready if everybody else is ready, because everybody that's going to be here is here. Commissioner Lopez gave advance notice that he was going to be here. Commissioner McKay said last month that she would be headed to Denver as well today, so we have noticed that they won't be here, so I think everybody that's here is going to be here. So, this is July 11, 2019. It is 5:30 p.m. This is the regular work session of the Trinidad Urban Renewal Authority. Item number 1 on the agenda this evening is discussion regarding the ARR demolition policy program. We worked on that extensively last month. A lot of edits were noted at that time, and I think Executive Director Sun has done a lot of work on it and provided us with a revision to everything that we had discussed and requested. One of the things that I put in front of you tonight is a little bit of edit that I did.
yeah, thank you.
For that very first one.
I didn't know how to answer those, that first.
Yeah, so I went
paragraph.
ahead and I put in, and in fact, on the following paragraph where it says the anti-dilapidation ordinance, I think the date of that is in 2016.
Okay.
So I did a little research on it and came up with that information because I am somewhat familiar with what was and wasn't going on with the city between the 1980s and 1990s. So that's how I came out. So if my memory serves me correctly, I think it's right.
Okay.
So for all the other things in there, Greg, do you want to take it away from here?
Sure. I went through it and took out, I think, everything everybody talked about, added a little bit. I didn't, needed a clean copy though, so it's a little harder to find what's there, but there was so much stuff taken.
Yeah, there was.
There was far more stuff removed than added, which makes it a much simpler thing to deal with.
Well, I made a comparison of what was on there before and re-X'd out to what it is. So yeah, there was, all references to DOLA have been taken out. A couple of paragraphs were taken out in their entirety with a few other edits. So I believe what we discussed in the June meeting is now inclusive or included in Commissioner Vellani.
May I speak?
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay, I just have a question on number 4, and I brought my copy to have all my notes, not the new one, but it has number 4. It says the commission shall work with other nonprofit or government agencies associated with housing and utilize resources and expertise when necessary to ensure full compliance. And I think, if memory serves me correctly, didn't we also say that we would work with private agencies as well?
Well, but we don't need to work with private ones to ensure compliance with grant responsibilities.
Okay, all right, so, but they would.
Well, if we get a grant, we're responsible, not the private party.
Okay, so we would.
In fact, we have to be careful if we get a grant. Some of them restrict your ability to work with private entities. So I think it's good to mention it in there, but if we work with private entities, the likelihood of getting much of any grant money is probably zero.
Yeah. I just didn't know whether we wanted to add that just in case. And then on the housing and other nonprofit agencies section, on page 4.
Okay.
It says TURA will seek constructing of affordable housing on properties vacated by the general program and reselling properties acquired and rehabilitated by the, that reads fine, that, I must have notated that differently, it must be notated that differently, I apologize.
I think that was one of the ones that got probably adjusted to some extent.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Anyone else?
I think you did an exemplary job.
Really.
Thank you. One thing, looking through this, I might want to add to it is, like Roman numerals or something like that for the bigger headings so that you can keep them straight as you're referring to them.
Good idea.
That would be great.
Because there's a whole bunch of 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s.
Really. And page numbers.
Yeah.
Add to that.
I have a question.
Sure.
On page 4, on number 4 at the bottom, I think we left it really open and I didn't totally get it. It's like each buyer of the ARR home shall record a deed restriction, I understand that. This restriction shall remain in effect years from the date of the purchase.
5 years.
So, right, 5 years. But if they wanna sell it, they can. And we can buy it back, right?
We would have right of first refusal. But they are obligated to keep it for the 5-year period. In fact, if they sold it, because we would have right of first refusal, we would be able to buy it right away.
Okay.
So they couldn't sell it unless Urban Renewal let them do it.
And that usually, that's pretty common,
Yeah,
to have
because
a
this
minimum
is,
time.
in the end, this is gonna be subsidized property. We'll probably, if we do anything, we'll probably lose money on these properties. And why would you give people equity? I don't know if you'd heard that, but when I had described what I'd learned being involved with Habitat for Humanity, but they learned that lesson really hard early on, where they sold people properties for what it cost to build a house. Well, when you have 100% donated labor, it doesn't cost much to build a house. And so they would sell someone a house, 1,000 square foot house for $35,000, $40,000. And there were people that within an hour already were at the realtor selling it because they made $35,000 the next day. And so the way they handled that is they create 2 mortgages. One of them is a cash money mortgage and the other one is an equity mortgage. So as you pay down the cash money mortgage, the equity mortgage goes down the same amount. So until you pay off the loan, you have to give Habitat back money if you're going to sell it. And the difference between the 2 of them is what it costs them to build it and what the market value is. And it can be pretty substantial. But they had to do that just to make sure there weren't people taking advantage of the program. Because there's always going to be someone who figures it out if you have gaps.
There was something in Denver that they were doing, that's exactly what happened. They were trying to sell a house like that, or they were trying to sell houses that they had used this kind of a program.
Well, and if you only had the obligation of the cash money mortgage and the value is 3 times, 4 times that, that'd be a nice way to clean up in one day. That's a good profit.
Okay, and one other question. On the voluntary acquisition on page 5, it said TURA will identify properties in poor condition.
Yes.
But we go through what you recommend, right?
Well, if you see properties you want us to look at, we surely can do that. So hopefully we have a fairly complete list, but people bring us things that we've missed every once in a while. So some of them we already knew about, but we can only do so much at a time.
Well, I know Mrs. Bowman asked asked for one last week, last meeting, didn't you? An updated list?
Yep, and I gave you.
We had, it was on that last month.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the list that,
Okay.
That is on ADO.
ADO.
Okay.
Any other questions? Well, thanks for the work on it. So the question now comes, now we're headed for finalizing and putting together, and I guess there could be future edits to it. So we gotta start thinking, the next step is, okay, how do we implement it? How do we actually take it to action? It's not an item for discussion tonight, because it's no longer, but we've got the policy and program almost to where we want it. The next thing to do is determine is how we're going to get funds and how we wanna spend money to get at least the first project under our belt.
And do we work from the ADO list to find those houses initially? Or do we go out and identify properties on our own?
I think that ADO list has a lot of good candidates.
Well, if nothing else, you can take that and see if there's other ones out there you don't know about, or you haven't identified at this point, because we want as complete a list as possible. So, if there's anything that's not identified through ADO, we need to add it to the list.
Commissioner Moulton also mentioned last meeting when we worked on this, that after, the revisions were made, that we would move on to the letters.
Yes.
And so I guess that needs to be something we need to address before we move.
Yeah, because those are exhibits to policy, so, if I could work with you, we could just make sure the letters look good, if that's what we'd like to do.
Thank you.
Probation's killing me.
But I think hopefully we can, my hope would be that we can make these minor revisions to the, and finalize the letters and have them ready for the next meeting.
Yeah, they're very good letters, for the most part.
Pretty much all we have to do is just make sure they look good.
Case specific. Okay, well then, we're set there.
Okay.
And then I gave you that information that I think we're gonna
Yep,
get that first,
that'll
that
include
first
the
thing, because
letters.
because when I put in what I found in the original act, or the ordinance that city council did.
Yep, appreciate it.
All right then, is there item number 2, item number 3, discussion of items for future work sessions?
I had one more thing to add, if I may.
Okay.
On page 15, there's a typo, Trinidad Urban Renewal Authority, urban is not capitalized.
Page 15?
Yeah, it's in the title.
Yeah.
It's one of the letters.
It's one of the
Oh,
attachments, the exhibits.
we're gonna go through the letters anyway, so, yeah, we'll fix that. Okay.
Okay, items that we wanna put on for future discussion. Anybody have anything? I have one. I thought about it a few months ago, it slipped my mind, but last night I just happened to be there. And I wanna talk about it, maybe it doesn't fall within the purview of urban renewal. But there are a couple areas in downtown, which is our area of concentration, and it doesn't have to do directly with buildings. What I'm Convent Street off of Main, as you go on that very first block, which would be where Mantelli's bar is, and it wraps around and goes out there. The sidewalks, which are brick that should have never been probably put in there, they're disintegrated.
Like the ones where you go south, or
Yeah,
north?
as you right as you come off of Main Street, you come down that first block, right across the street from Miners Memorial Park.
Mhm.
All the brick inserts, all the insets, and all that side, it's just crumbled. I mean, it is bad looking. I mean, plus there are a lot of tree grates in the sidewalk that have been lifted as a result of the roots. And I know it's a problem, and I'm sure the city's looked at it before, but, you know, one of the things that we look at with, you know, as far as urban renewal is accesses, and those things are in and around those places, and if you haven't looked at it, you gotta look at that stuff to see what I'm talking about. So I don't know if that falls within our purview, something that we wanna undertake. It's something that the city might be taking care of under a capital improvement or whatever else, but there are some areas, I mean, it's probably a hazard to foot traffic.
It's
honestly.
treacherous, it's
Yeah,
treacherous coming through.
It's, yeah, if you haven't seen it, you gotta go by there, and it's all that, it's halfway down the block right there by my tallies, and then you go behind, which would go behind SCRT in that area, and it's rough, it's not only it's an eyesore, but it's actually a danger to life and limb.
And there's brick sidewalk that goes down by the church offices too. And none of that is ADA compliant. And so we'll probably have to replace all of that sidewalk. It would be, anyone who had ADA needs would not be able to navigate a brick sidewalk. There's just too much roughness. They look pretty, but they're not very functional.
Well, in the inserts, there is concrete. But then it's the insert that, I don't remember exactly where it sits, but it's brick that should have never been used to begin with. When that project was done some 30 plus years ago. So as time has gone on, all it is, it's pulverized.
Okay.
And so, you know, I don't know, we want to bring it on for us to talk about, if that falls within something like that. I'd like to bring it, you know, that could be something for discussion.
I don't know if that's really a urban renewal thing, but it is something we need to address through our capital plan, so.
Anybody else have anything to put on? If not today, if you think about it, get it to Greg prior to the formulation of next month's agenda, so we can have it, and if you have it as an item, bring more specific information if you want to bring it on, so that it can be discussed. Yes, we do a regular session. July 11, 2019, this is 5:48 p.m. This is the regular meeting of the Trinidad Urban Renewal Authority. Item number 1 is roll call.
Bolton,
Yes,
Leoni,
Yes.
Lopez, Matei, Terrabino,
Present.
Malani,
Present.
Grego.
Here. Item number 2, approval of the minutes from last month's meeting, which was June the 26th, June the 13th. Everybody was sent in advance copy of the minutes. Is there a motion?
I'd make a motion to approve the minutes of June 13th, 2019 as presented.
I'll second it.
There's a motion and a second. I have one thing I think I would like to have correct, and it has to do with the one where absences related to a member, and in there it was always, at that time it was 3 meetings that it missed. It was not more than 3 meetings. So that would need to be corrected in there, because it says Greater reported that Terrabino had missed had more than 3 absences this year, and it's actually were 3 absences, not more.
I would amend my motion to approve, to as amended.
And a
Second.
motion and a second, both approve the amendment. Any further discussion? Roll call.
Bolton,
Yes,
Leoni,
Yes.
Terrabino,
Yes.
Malani,
Yes.
Grego.
Yes. Item number 3, the financial report.
also we have the minutes from the special
Oh, yeah.
meeting,
Yes.
June 26th.
Good job, Vice Chair.
You're welcome.
Is there a motion for the approval of the special minutes of the special meeting?
I would make a motion to approve the minutes of the special meeting held June 26, 2019, as presented.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. Is there further discussion? Questions? Roll call.
Bolton,
Yes.
Leoni,
Yes.
Terrabino,
Yes.
Valani,
Yes.
Grego.
Yes. Now acceptance of the financial report.
I have a question, if I may. On page 26, under Opera House renovation, Ashland Properties, it shows $7,500. Yet in other places, it appears as $10,000. And now I see where he has been refunded $10,000.
He deposited $10,000 with us, the $7,500 is the budget. So we didn't think we'd spend the entire $10,000 in
Okay.
a year.
I just wanted to make sure that he really had provided us with the $10,000.
Yep.
We have a motion?
I'd make a motion to approve the financial report as presented.
Second.
Second.
Motion and a second.
One thing we want to mention too is the checking account has a $30 balance in there, and that's because it appears DCI never cashed the registration check for you.
So I got a free.
Well, we don't know if they want the money back or if they're just gonna say we don't have any record of it.
So we're nice guys and they don't know this, right?
Yeah, we'll find out.
Okay. Any other further questions or comments? Roll call.
Bolton,
Yes.
Leoni,
Yes.
Terrabino,
Yes.
Valani,
Yes.
Grego.
Yes. Item number 4, consideration of bills, and you have the list of bills, which are 3 at this point. Legal fees for the collector from the law firm of Malcolm Murray. Don Wilhelm, his reimbursement of $10,000, and Anderson Analytics, the most recent bill, for $412.50, total of $13,743.70. Motion.
I'd make a motion to pay the bills.
Second.
Motion and a second. So it comes a question for me is, so now the reimbursement of those monies that were set in for the development agreement, or for, what's next step? What's the owner of that building say he's gonna do?
He says he's lowering the price to
I
$200,000.
saw that.
And it's probably already listed for sale, correct? He just basically wants out. So I don't know if anybody will pay $200,000 for that. I honestly don't know. The amount of work, and the negative value due to the amount of work needed is huge.
I love Fran's suggestion of retaining the facade and putting just a new building on the back side if there was any way that could be accomplished.
I think it would be far easier to number and remove a facade than keep it in place, because if you could do that, but the engineering would be pretty substantial, because you'd have to drive piles. So you'd have to make sure that they can't move in any way while you're driving 15, 20-foot piles in the ground. That would be really hard. It shakes the earth when you do those kind of things.
It'll probably have to be dismantled and crated.
That's what I'm kind
And
of
put
thinking.
back.
It would be a lot of work, but it would be easier to do. And then when you're done, you're putting it up with new mortar, and so it would be a better wall. But it's, that is one way to save a facade.
And I think certain things are inevitable, probably. We have a motion and a second. Is there any further comments or questions? Roll call.
Bolton,
Yes.
Leoni,
Yes.
Terrabino,
Yes.
Valani,
Yes.
Grego.
Yes. Item number 5, petitions or communications, oral or written. There is none. Item number 6, any old business? Item number 7, any new business? Number 8, report of the executive director.
I didn't put any of the hot buttons on this form, and I don't know how many of you access the agenda through your computer. I'm happy to put those on there because it's more convenient for me, once it's there, to jump all over and around the packets. But if most of you are using paper, that just takes time I don't need to put into it.
I don't use paper.
Okay. So you like those?
I would like that.
Okay.
Yeah, looks helpful.
And it appears already, the discussion we had with the county treasurer and appraiser is working. We got a check yesterday for $20,881.
Wow.
So that's potentially gonna be a substantial increase in revenue.
Good job, man.
It's just nice to have it, it's just scary to see what wasn't happening. That's nice, that's,
Yeah.
you know, that's so, they appreciate it as well, I think.
I think so too.
Well, I think what they appreciated is identifying it now instead of years from now, because that would have been really a hard thing to overcome.
They had to totally close down things. You couldn't go pay your taxes there for a while they were working on
Oh, they cussed us out.
that. Oh, they kept telling everybody it was the TURA board because they had to do something for the TURA board.
Oh, that's bad.
I guess we're a force that has to be
There you
reckoned
go,
with.
there you go.
Okay, item number 9, reports by commissioners. Anybody have anything?
I have nothing.
I would only like to say that I've had little communication because we did, maybe I should have reported in our old business. Well, we did have one applicant for the facade stabilization. They did send back a second application, which is still incomplete. I'm trying to work with them, and who it is a city carriage. And there's some stuff, I sent them an email yesterday because I had a hard time connecting with them. I'll try to make a concerted effort to get there within that window of hours that the owners are actually in there, because we need to have a more detailed description of the work that they propose, so we can determine what part of it fits within our policy as it does for facade renovation. So I'll try to get to them if I can tomorrow in that little window of time that they're in, so I can tell them they need. I sent them an email, but I actually included some erroneous information. My aging mind. So I will go see them personally and tell them where we can put it.
Have we heard any more about that house on 7th or 8th Street?
So,
7th?
No, I think that's still going through the process.
Is that the burnt house?
Yeah.
yeah.
I can tell you that I know the person that purchased the house next to it.
Oh, really?
Fix it. Fix it.
Well, we may want this property.
Where is it?
John Anderson.
Oh, gosh, darn.
So, like I say, so yeah, maybe some, might have to make contact with them, get it to be a viable piece of land for somebody else to work with.
Yeah, that would be great.
That's all I have. Anybody else have anything? That's what item number 10, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
I have no dissenting votes, to adjourn.
I think you guys just set a record.
That was quick.
No, I think we've done